this school on Monday, the 24th of April 2023. Actually, I'm sitting down with my feet up. I'm gonna put my feet down because I need to get the iPad out for some stuff. So, I am not feeling well today. Yeah. And tried going to the bathroom like first thing in the morning when I got in, and Eiler, they're now really enforcing that rule that they introduced a couple months ago, where it was like, oh, you can't just open the bathroom and keep the key in there because the children will get in there and they'll something. But maybe they're enforcing that now, so I need to go on the study, or as I'm now calling it, Oz M City. Either you need to actually go into the M City to get the key, which I'm not fucking going to the M City unless I do not have a single choice. Or it just hadn't been owned yet or something. Or the paint is still fucking drying after 6 days. Which I don't even know why they would, ban us from going in until the paint dries, considering we could just not touch the walls unless it's literally dripping from the ceiling or something. I forget what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'll go into these now. I read Long After Midnight by Ray Bradbury. This is an early version of Fahrenheit 451. It's an early draft. This one is somewhere around 100 pages, whereas Fahrenheit is 300 something, I think. And I feel like the Long After Midnight is better than Fahrenheit because every single thing that I remember from Fahrenheit is in Long After Midnight. Like, Long After Midnight is just Fahrenheit, but all the unnecessary scenes cut out. Now, there is another early version of Fahrenheit that I've yet to read called The Fireman. And that's actually the next book in the collection, but that is 90-something pages. So it's either the biggest or the second biggest book in the collection. There are 3 more books that are bonus stories. These are bonus stories because they don't take place in the Fahrenheit universe. And I've read 2 of them. The Dragon Who Ate His Tail. It's good. It's quite weird, and honestly, I'm confused by the ending, but I don't have a problem with it. Like, it's a fine confusion. There's sometimes where you're better off answering questions, and sometimes you're better off not answering questions. And also, Sometime Before Dawn. Sorry, I had to take a drink of something that we'll get into later. Sometime Before Dawn it's also quite weird, and I was confused by it by the end. Which either it's just too complicated for me, or I don't know it. But what it is that I'll read what Wikipedia says. A seemingly strange couple is observed by a neighbor. So the entire thing is just this neighbor talking about the Smiths, I think their last name is. Because every single night at 2 a.m, Mrs. Smith starts crying. And so he's quite strange. He's going to jot that down and it's happening all the time. And then I think they're staying at a B&B or something. At least that's what it seems like to me. Oh, and I should mention, this takes place in 2002. So the Smiths walk into the like dining area of the B&B for the first time, and someone asks what they think of this guy, who I'm pretty sure they said president. This guy, I'm just gonna say Joe Biden. And Mr. Smith says, "I do not like Joe Biden." And then the guy who asked him about Joe Biden goes, "Yes, I too do not like Joe Biden." Like a copycat. So I'm thinking, maybe this guy's like, anything he says, everyone agrees with him automatically. And then another bit where the neighbor, I don't know if he breaks into their room or if he just opens it or something, but there are calendars there, but the calendars say 2035 or 2025. Yeah, 2035. And then by the end, it's like, oh, Joe Biden will be old enough to become president in 2035. So that's why I'm confused. I'll Other than that, I enjoyed it. I was able to get through 3 books today because I've been reading Long After Midnight for fucking ages. Whenever the last Pleasure of the Burning review was, that's when I started Long After Midnight. It was probably February at the earliest or latest, whichever one. And as we're dragging out his tail, that's 5 pages, and Sometime Before Dawn is 10 pages. Then the last bonus story, To the Future, is less than 20 pages. So I have about 110 pages left of Pleasure to Burn. And then after that, I can put my full focus into the current thing that the current comic, which, I mean, I'll probably finish that before I finish Pleasure to Burn. So, review for that coming soon. So, as for that thing I'm drinking, I thought, doesn't tea help you when you're sick? And doesn't the Barista Bar and Spar sell tea? So I looked up what the best kind of tea is when you're sick, and went through the list, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just get a green tea. And yeah, green tea is terrible. So I got that for lunch, and I have another one right now with me as well. That's basically it. Actually, I will say this: that essay thing that we started in English on Friday, I finished that today, and it is, by their standards, yeah, it's got to be like a U, ungradable and whatever. I say that because you're supposed to do 6 paragraphs. You've got your introduction, form, language, blah blah, conclusion. I didn't do any of that. I just did 1 paragraph where I got like 4 notes, I think. Because that's all it is, man. It's fucking. There's barely anything to talk about, and the stuff I talk about, it's probably got nothing. Most likely, it's got nothing to do with the actual question itself. A lot of it was the speaker describing this motorcycle gang, and I wrote that motorcycle gang because of this denote it as something negative, and this shows the speaker is justifiably afraid or something. I've handed that in. Usually when I do something as terrible as that, I don't hand it in. But I've done it, I feel a bit liberated. Anyway. And as for media, it was just more Zoella BS. Nothing out of the ordinary. Other than he does, he did acknowledge the fact that it is very outdated. So yeah. Fuck that comic. I might finish that and wait. Ah shit. Never mind. I was gonna say I might finish it tomorrow, but I've realised that there's more to it than I thought there was. Because I've yet to write it down in the reading list. Maybe Thursday.